creating Iman Gadzhi's style is quite easy, and I'm gonna show you how. And for example, this animation is what we're going to create today. It's in this last video, and make sure to keep watching because I'm gonna show you some secret techniques. This can be done in multiple animation programs, but we're gonna use After Effects for today. We'll do this in 3 steps. 1 is creating the background, 2 is creating the elements, and 3 is animating the elements. So let's jump into it. First, we'll create a new composition. We go to the drop down and we'll create a 4K composition, 25 frames per second. Background color can be black and the duration 10 seconds is fine. Press OK. First things first is that we're gonna create the background. So we're gonna create a new layer new solid. Color doesn't matter. And now we're gonna put a gradient over it. So we go to our effects panel, effects, and then gradient. Sometimes it can be buggy, you can double click it. Gradient ramp works perfect for this. We're gonna change the ramp shade to radial. We're gonna center this thing and then start color a bit like a light bluish. Now I'm a bit colorblind, so excuse me if it's not perfect. Press OK, and color also blue, but a bit darker. Now I think the middle part can actually be a bit darker too, so I don't want too much of a gradient. And what you can do is add a ramp scatter, so that will basically make sure that the gradient will be smooth. Now we'll add that beautiful grid that we saw in the video. So we create a new solid, okay, and we go to the effects panel, grid, generate a grid. We're gonna change the opacity and we're gonna make them a bit more square by changing the corner like that. So now we're done with our first step, so let's go to our step 2. In this step, we're gonna create some elements, which shouldn't be that hard. We basically have a couple elements. So first of all, the money sign, the circle, and then the $0 to $10,000, and then of course the warning. I'm gonna start with all the shapes. So the circle, this border, and this red thing. So first the circle, just use the ellipse tool by pressing and holding your mouse on this icon. We're gonna hold shift till we have a circle. We're gonna disable the fill by clicking on fill and on none and OK. And we're gonna enable the stroke by clicking on stroke and then fill, press OK. And we're gonna change the stroke to maybe 110. 110 is a beautiful number. And this poop brown color, I'm gonna change by clicking on the stroke color and changing it to a lime green. Now we're gonna center this by aligning it. Next will be the 0 to 10,000. We're gonna use a rounded rectangle for this, and we'll just create it around here, I would say. Now the stroke is way too big. We're gonna change this to 40, or actually maybe even, I would say 20, or maybe 15. And we're gonna change it to white. And then we'll open this rectangle here in our layers. And then we're gonna make it more round by changing the roundness in the shape properties. I think around 90 should be great. And then we'll center it also. And I feel like we can move this a bit up, can move this a bit up too. And we make that stroke 10, because I think it should be thin AF. And then the last one is the red bar. We'll create that by using the rounded rectangle tool again. It should be a bit the same width, I would say something like this. Now we're gonna disable the stroke by clicking on stroke, none, okay, and fill. We're gonna create a solid color. Now this should be a bit red, like it's a warning. It's important for you to notice. And then we're gonna change the roundness to, I would say, maybe even 30. It needs to be way more because it's like a bit of a pill shaped, I would say. So maybe 60. Perfect. And we're gonna align this too. Now we got the basic shapes. We just need a couple more things. One is that money icon, and that's a basic money emoji. It's actually this one. Now, emojis are actually copyrighted. A lot of people don't know this, and the Apple emojis especially are copyrighted. That's why they're really hard to find on Google. But again, I'm just gonna use them for this tutorial. There we go. And if you actually want a tutorial on how to extract these emojis or how to create those emojis, you let me know. Now we'll center this, and it actually has a drop shadow. So we're gonna right click on it, layer styles, and then drop shadow. Size, we're gonna make it huge. There we go. And then the text, $0. I'm gonna make the text white by changing the fill. Need to select it to change the color. And then we're gonna make it bigger, and I'm gonna make it extra bold. And then we need those arrows. So we're now gonna add the arrow. Basically, I'm just gonna copy it over from the Apple feature. I should be able to paste it, and then select it, and then Apple symbols. And there we go. It's not our most beautiful arrow, I would say. I'm gonna select them, and I want them a bit higher. And we can do that by changing the indentation right here, like this. I'm just gonna copy them over again. Copy this text, 20,000. Change the font size of everything. Gonna move it I'm gonna move it. I don't really like how the arrows look. I think you can easily improve this by just inserting some arrows in it. You can just download them from Google. First text done. Second text, we're gonna duplicate this, move it, and we're gonna change this to hard, oh my God, full caps. Hardest income to reach, not all caps. You can toggle it, and then we're gonna select it all and change we're missing a couple features, but we're gonna go to the next step because we're gonna animate. So next step is animation. First of all, the money icon, it's gonna fly into the screen and the wings are gonna move. Now you might think, how are we gonna do this? So it's actually not that hard. Keyframe the position. So I'm gonna move this keyframe from the position. To open this position panel, you just press P from position, and then we're gonna move it to the bottom a bit, and then we'll see it move in. Beautiful. We're gonna make this a bit more smoother by selecting the keyframes, right click, and then keyframe assistant easy ease. We're gonna toggle the motion blur so we create this smooth animation, and then we're gonna move the wings, actually called the puppet position pin tool. It's a lot of P's. I'm gonna click it. I'm gonna create a point here. I'm gonna create a point here, and I'm gonna create a point here. And now we can move it. We can easily move it like this. Now I want to create one extra here, so it doesn't move the money too much. What you're now gonna do is press U. You'll see all the keyframes. Actually, I think that middle one is a bit unnecessary. I can even select that and delete it altogether. Now we have some keyframes here, and we want to basically make it fly. So we're gonna move this here. We're gonna right click it and we're gonna easy ease it. We're gonna put that in the beginning too. So we're gonna select them all and then copy them over and pasting them here. Now in the middle, I'm just gonna move them a bit. For example, like this and like this. And then maybe even here, I'm gonna move them a bit like this and move them a bit like this. Gonna play the animation. And as you can see, a beautiful moving money icon. And then the circle, select the circle, press S for scale, select the keyframe. We're gonna go to the beginning, gonna go to 0. We're gonna easy ease this. Again, same thing, select it, right click, easy ease. Now the only thing is that it doesn't scale from the right point. As you can see, the anchor point is here. We can move that by using the pen behind tool like this. All right, perfect. Now there's one more thing. It's gonna animate in, and we're gonna just duplicate this. We're gonna change the background one to white by changing the color to white. And then the top one, we're gonna animate in basically like a circle by adding a trim path. There we go. We're gonna animate the end, go back to the beginning. We're gonna move this to 0. Beautiful. Now we're gonna again easy ease it, easy ease. There we go. Now, the last part is the text animation. Basically making sure that the text comes in really smooth. And this is a thing that is in a lot of videos of Iman. Now, I am gonna explain this, but in a different video. Click in the top right or click in the description for that video, and you'll learn how to create these awesome text animations that Iman also use. If you have a favorite YouTuber and you watch their videos and you think, this is awesome, I wanna create something like that, doesn't matter if it's effects, animations, or editing styles, leave them down in the comments. It can also be a video of Iman or any other YouTuber. Then I'll see you next time, and thanks for watching.